RINOs are panicking as Patriots are taking over the Republican Party. We're going to see how Republicans in name only, RINOs, are trying to derail the surge in support that we're seeing for Ultra Maga candidates, particularly in the state of Pennsylvania. And stick with the very end of this video when we're going to find out exactly why Patriots are the only ones who can win and win big. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, I'm your daily fake news antidote, so come on into your Patriot Professor's Den. We're helping to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you've already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe. But before we begin, gang, today is your last day to register for our free webinar that you are absolutely not going to want to miss. It's a free training webinar on canceling cancel culture. It's Friday, May 13th at 2 p.m. Eastern. It is my gift to you. There's absolutely no charge. We're going to take a deep dive together and learn all about how you and I can effectively cancel culture once and for all. It's awesome, and you are going to absolutely love it. But we're down to our last remaining seat, so don't wait. Click on that link below. There will be a recording if you can't make it, but it's only for those who have registered. Again, it's absolutely free. Stop what you're doing. Click on that link below. Register right now, or you can go to update.turleytalks.com to sign up for the event. We're going to learn together exactly what we can do to crush cancel culture once and for all. Click on the link. It is your last chance, and I can't wait to see you on Friday. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. I don't know how many of you have been following what's been happening in my own backyard here in the great state of Pennsylvania, the Keystone State, but I've seen it with my own eyes. The Pennsylvania Republican Party is fast becoming an official Ultra Maga party. It's astonishing. They're becoming the Patriot Party right in front of our very eyes. Look at this headline from the New York Times. Hardliners. Well, at least they don't call us far right. Hardliners gain in Pennsylvania GOP races, worrying both parties. And the byline reads, Doug Mastriano and Kathy Barnett are amplifying Donald Trump's stolen election lie in two key races. Republicans fear they could lose in November. Democrats fear they could win. And those are both true. RINOs, you know, they're the ones who always lose national elections, and they more often than not lose statewide elections. The only justification for a RINO, the only justification they have is that true patriots can't win. That's what they always say, right? And so they work perfectly with Democrats who actually believe the opposite, that patriot candidates are going to crush them in November. So Democrats actually realize that the only hope Republicans have of winning is that they run ultra MAGA loving America First patriots. And so RINOs and the Democrats are a perfect match. But there's no question the ultra MAGA candidates are crushing it in the primaries. The latest polls all show that Doug Mastriano is absolutely running away with it for the GOP gubernatorial nomination. The latest Fox News poll has Mastriano breaking away from the pack with nearly 30% support, 12 points ahead of his closest competitor, Lou Barletta, who's also a MAGA guy. So the two top front runners for governor of Pennsylvania are both populist Republicans. But the real news that's happening here is with the U.S. Senate campaign involving the RINO Dr. Oz and the massive surge we're seeing with the MAGA patriot, Kathy Barnett. Now, if you haven't seen it, I did an interview with Kathy a few weeks back when she was just starting to surge. She has such a beautiful and inspiring story. It's going to make your day. I'll link it down below for you, that interview I did with her in the link below. Kathy's absolutely panicking the Dr. Oz people. And right now as we speak, the latest Trafalgar poll shows Kathy has surged to a statistical tie with Dr. Oz, who Trump endorsed, by the way, to the disillusionment of most MAGA voters in Pennsylvania. Regardless, Kathy's surging. And so RINOs, who have thus far controlled the Republican Party in Pennsylvania, they're absolutely freaking out over this. They're recognizing that they're about to be purged from the party en masse. And so these RINOs are doing precisely what RINOs do best. They try to tar and feather these patriot candidates in the exact same way Democrats like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer would. There's not a dime's worth of difference between RINOs and Democrats when it comes to slandering patriot-based defenders of faith, family, and freedom. And so now the legacy media, right on cue, are running their hit pieces on these Ultra Maga candidates. Take a look at this one from Axios. GOP panics over Ultra Maga Pennsylvania Senate wildcard. And it's all about how Mitch McConnell was freaking out over Kathy Burnett and how she's not ready and she's not electable, right? For his part, Oz has been tapping into his surrogates to float around a heavily doctored, actually very badly edited video of Kathy making it look like she supported BLM back in the summer of 2020, when in point of fact, she was actually opposed to BLM and was totally pro-law enforcement. Ironically, it was Oz that went gaga over BLM, not to mention wintering in Davos for the World Economic Forum. As for Mastriano, here's the Politico headline. Pennsylvania GOP panics over possible Mastriano nomination. And the byline, Republicans are increasingly worried that a ticket led by gubernatorial frontrunner Doug Mastriano could lead to defeat in November. Let me translate that for you. We left-wing activists disguised as journalists over at Politico are offended that you Republicans refuse to vote for the candidate that we leftists want you to vote for. You damn fools. That's what Mark Levin tweeted out last night against all of us who think this $40 billion boondoggle Congress is sending over to Ukraine is an absolute outrage, right? Here's one from Morning Call. Pennsylvania Republicans openly worried that front-running far-right, oh, here they go, far-right Doug Mastriano is unelectable in the fall. I mean, you see the pattern here, right? But ironically, he's the only one who could win. I mean, that's the same thing they said about Glenn Youngkin. They said he's Omicron. He's a softer but more contagious variant of Trumpism. He can't win. And the irony in all this is that only patriot candidates like Mastriano and Youngkin could actually bring out the rural vote, which overwhelms the urban vote. RINOs can't do that, and therefore RINOs can't win. We saw this with the Pennsylvania State Senate President Jay Corman. He's a RINO. He's as RINO as RINO gets, right? And he ran for governor, and he just dropped out. He can't even win among fellow Republicans, let alone Democrats and independents, right? But that doesn't stop the remaining RINOs in the party to try to crush the patriot candidates who are the only viable candidates who could win. In order to do that, they team up with left-wing media rags that have never met a woke cause they wouldn't shamelessly shill for. And yet these RINOs, who couldn't win an election for dog catcher, these RINOs team up with these far-left activists disguised as journalists to protect their business model, to protect the status quo that's made them both rich. In the end, that's what's going on. Look, you don't have to be a genius to figure out what's going on here, all right? Let me show you a headline that came out the day after Glenn Youngkin crushed Terry McAuliffe in Virginia back in November of last year. And this headline comes ironically from the far leftists over at the Philadelphia Inquirer, right? So they know the data. They know the statistics. These women are white with no college degrees, and they are in the driver's seat of American politics. Note the phrase there. They're in the driver's seat of American politics. It's a report on the exit polling from the Virginia election that found that an astonishing 75% of white women without college degrees voted for the Republican Glenn Youngkin. And not just Youngkin, but Winsome Sears for lieutenant governor and the Republican attorney general. 75% of white women without college degrees. And this article recognizes that that kind of massive voting bloc is impossible to overcome demographically. It's an unassailable voting bloc. That voting bloc alone is enough to overwhelm the urban vote. And guess who Doug Mastriano's and Kathy Barnett's main voter demographic is? White women without college degrees. Now do you see why they're running the hit pieces? Because both RINOs and liberals know that their days of running the show are over. And they're all trying to hold on to their waning power for as long as they can. So we'll certainly be keeping an eye on how things develop here, but there's no question. Patriots are successfully taking over the Republican Party. The days of the RINO are coming to an end. And the restoration of faith, family, and freedom to our nation really is at hand. Now, before we go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video, my video interview with Kathy Barnett. It's going to absolutely inspire you like nothing else, so make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.